Jacob. Jacob.
What?
We're live.
Yeah, I know. I can see the up there. It says live.
Oh, ladies and boys and girls, first of all, ladies, welcome to Show by Show presents The Countdown. This is the top released, our favorite movies that were released in the month of October. Of all time, though, Jacob.
All time.
You made me go through a lot of years to put this list together.
I did. But there's a few heavy hitters.
There's a lot of heavy hitters.
Yeah. So
This top 10 was rough, and the top 5 is even rougher.
Yeah. Especially just before we start, the year of 2014, there were quite a few that made my honorable mentions, to my honorable mentions, as well as the actual list. So 2014, October, dare I say, best month for movies. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I didn't even look, but yeah, 2014 will be brought up by me as well.
Yeah, when I was putting the list, the rough draft together, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4. Maybe there might have been 5, but yeah, 2014 was just a good year overall.
Well, Jacob, this was your idea, and you're the guest.
It was.
Give me your honorable mentions and your number 10.
All right, so my 20 honorable mentions are. I'm just kidding. It's 5. I know. All right, my 5 honorable mentions are The Prestige, released October 20th of 2006. Gone Girl, October 3rd of 2014. Mystic River, released the 3rd of October in 2003. Princess Mononoke, released in October 29th of 1999. And then my last honorable mention, which it was so close between this and my number 10, but John Wick just barely misses it out, released October 24th of 2014. But my number 10, I lean more towards musicals, so I had to at least throw one on. There will be another later on, but it was West Side Story, the 1963 version, released October 18th of that year. This is, of course, an adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. You have the Jets and the Sharks, rival gangs. You have Tony and Maria, Forbidden Love. I like the songs. I like the choreography. It's just a fun time. I think the remake is good, but I think this one outshines it. I think it's just a really good adaptation of a Shakespeare play, and one that I can go back to pretty often. Just a fun movie. For the most part, except for like the whole death and all that stuff. But for the most part, like the songs are fun. Performances are great. Rita Moreno was so great that Steven Spielberg was like, "Hey, can you come back for my movie too?" And she was like, "All right, fine, I'll do it." So that's my number 10.
Very nice. Never seen it. I saw the remake and I like that one. My honorable mentions. I think I have one similar as yours, but I have Bad Times at the El Royale, The Martian, Gone Girl. Agreed with you on that. Skyfall and Jojo Rabbit. All 5 movies I really like, but actually on the outside. Was coming in at number 10 from the year 2003. School of Rock, baby. Yeah.
It made the list. It was this close.
So it's such a great, likable film here. Jack Black, Ned Schneebly, somehow working his way into a school that, like, I think you've brought this up before, never once checked IDs. There's so much heart, so much fun here, man. Richard Linklater, you wouldn't necessarily think about with a movie like this. As my cat goes on my keyboard. Okay, he didn't change any settings yet, and he's a bit of a tunnel. So charming, kind of really helped lead Jack Black, I think, to an even bigger superstar than he already was, coming off things like Shallow Hal, and yeah, it still holds up. It's still such a good time every time you view it. School of Rock, number 10.
Yeah, this might still be my favorite Jack Black movie. Which, yeah.
You like I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Never seen it.
The Jackal.
Never seen it.
Bong Water.
Never seen it.
All right, I'll stop.
Never seen it.
No, that wasn't a damn joke.
All right, fine. I'll just move on to my number 9. My number 9 from the year 1993 is the inspirational football movie Rudy, starring Sean Astin. For whatever reason, this one was shown in high school a lot. Don't ask me why, but it's about Rudy, and he just wants to play football at Notre Dame, and it's just a good story about not giving up on your dreams and persevering to make them happen. And I think Sean Astin gives a really great performance. It's an inspirational movie. I actually haven't gone back to it in quite a while, so I think I'm due for a rewatch. So that's why it's kind of lower on the list, but it's probably top 3 favorite football movies for me. So Rudy, number 9.
I'll always remember the Rudy or the Titans. But I know, good pick there. Rudy really is a likable film. Keeping the love, and then I'm going to start getting dark after this. But we'll stay light for now. I'm going to The Princess Bride from 1987. Another one, man, just kind of fell in love with it from an early age. Of course, you got, Andre the Giant popping up, Wallace Shawn, and then of course, what happened to Carrie Elways? He's so charming in this, and he just seems he lost all his charm the last few years. I think he's a bad actor. I don't think he ever reached that potential again. Mandy Patinkin, of course, and yeah, I love the world they built here, man. I love the jokes that they have in here, both PG and then even slightly skew into the R rating territory. Yeah, just a lovable film.
It is. You might see it later on my list because I'm a huge fan of this movie. So number 8, 'Tis the Season, and then in a couple of months from now, will also be the season again. Did your cat just mess things up?
Maybe.
This is why dogs are better, because all you do is bark in the background. My number 8 released also in 93, a week after Rudy. It's The Nightmare Before Christmas. One that I will put on in October, and one that I will put on in December because I love this movie. And funny enough, I play the opening Halloween song and What's This in my classroom because it's part of a Halloween playlist. 4-year-olds apparently just love this movie because they're like, oh, that's Jack Skellington. I'm like, yes, it is, and I'm so proud of you for knowing that. But it's a fun Halloween movie, fun Christmas movie. I love the songs, the voice performance, just the stop motion animation. I think it's great. And yeah, it's very rewatchable in my opinion, and I love it.
It's a good one, man. I like it. I've never been a lover of it, though. But yeah, I know many people would agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Well, speaking of movies a 4-year-olds love, The Departed from 2006. 4-year-olds love a movie that just is the death toll is up there. My first Scorsese on the big screen, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's got to be. And yeah, I love it here. Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon are both undercover in their own separate ways. Jack Nicholson, I think his last great performance here, and great eclectic cast all around it too. Baldwin, Wahlberg, poor old Anthony Anderson, everyone popping up here. Martin Sheen, very tragic ending to him. Yeah, it's got the rat thing, but everything else is pretty damn fine in this movie here. So, what do you have for your number 7, you cocksucker?
My number 7 comes from a actor-director that you're pretty fond of. That is one Mr. Ben Affleck. It's the movie Argo. Directed by Ben Affleck. This group tries to rescue these hostages in Iran, right?
Sure.
A while. I think it's Iran at the Canadian embassy. So they stage like they're making a movie, and yeah, great performances all around. Ben Affleck, John Goodman, everyone else involved. It's just a very solid movie, very deserving of Best Picture in my opinion. But also deserving of a Best Director, and he wasn't even nominated. So I
One of
thought
those
was strange.
super rare times that it wins Best Picture and somehow is not even nominated for director.
Yeah,
Super
I'm
rare.
gonna look it up real quick while you're going through your number 7 to see who else was nominated that year.
Yeah, check it out, man. Well, I'm just saying it's very rare that they go, "This is the best movie of the year," but somehow the director not even in question.
Yeah.
Yeah, great pick there. This is actually one for me. I'll go ahead and say that just right on the cusp. I do have so much love for it, though. Definitely top 10 of that particular year. Here's something that you mentioned actually, and an honorable mention. It's on my main list here now. The Prestige from 2006, which I believe then I maybe had another 2006 on here. Oh, because I just talked about The Departed. Yeah, so I guess I loved my theater experiences in the year 2006. This was another one I saw it in theater, loved it. It was one that I had to buy on DVD to rewatch again. It's a great Christopher Nolan flick here. Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman are magicians, or Wolverine and Batman are magicians. David
And Black
Bowie
Widow
comes
shows
up.
up.
Black Widow's in there. It's so great, man. The twists and turns of performances in this. I have another reason that I can share off air why I love this movie. Yeah, I fell in love with it. I thought it's a great movie. The Prestige coming in number 7.
Before I get to it, number 6, the Best Director nominees from that year were Ang Lee, who won for Life of Pi,
Okay.
Michael Haneke, I hope I'm saying that right, for Amour, Ben Zeitlin for Beasts of the Southern Wild, Steven Spielberg for Lincoln, and David O. Russell for Silver Linings Playbook. So I'm sure.
All fine directors, but
Yeah, I haven't seen Amour or Beasts of the Southern Wild, so I can't speak on those.
I never saw more. I don't even remember what that is.
Yeah.
I did see Beasts of the Southern Wild though. I was a good Oscar boy that year. It's a good flick.
I mean, I think all 5 of those were also nominated for, Best Picture. So they must have done an okay job.
But none of them won. Affleck, hashtag Affleck and Jim Carrey are like my number 2 most screwed people.
Number 6.
How do you ignore Truman Show, ignore Man on the Moon, and then ignore Eternal Sunshine? Like sometimes they screw up once, Paul Giamatti and Sideways. Then usually they're like, all right, you're on our radar now. How do you constantly give the FU to them? Sandler too now.
Yeah. I mean, how could you not love Jim Carrey in the number 23?
Shut up.
I feel like I'm playing this game wrong.
Yeah, no, that's
all right. So number 6, you mentioned it. It's The Departed.
Hey.
Yeah, great movie from Scorsese. Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, like everyone you mentioned, gives great performances. I think it's shot well, just an entertaining ride from start to finish. And Nicholson, like of all the people to get a nomination from this movie, it was Mark Wahlberg. Everyone that's involved, and that's not a slight on Mark Wahlberg at all, because I think he's fantastic in the movie.
Matt Damon's face when he heard only Wahlberg got nominated.
Huh? Of that cast, and I guess kind of like looking at where their careers went afterwards, of Mark Wahlberg to be the only one of this cast to get a nomination is kind of baffling. But I think Leo and Damon and they've done okay for themselves, and Nicholson, I guess he had an okay career up to that point. Scorsese, usually gets the best out of his actors. So one of my favorite Scorsese DiCaprio team ups.
Yeah, those two make a good movie, don't they? I don't know why I went Italian. Hold on, I don't know why.
Why do you go Turkish?
Whoa, I thought I was doing Italian because I am Italian. Then it's not racist if I go Italian, but if I go Turkish, then it's racist. They make a good piece of pie.
That's okay.
Let's just go to number 6. Let's ignore that. Someone cut that from the live feed. You mentioned it as almost making it. Well, it made mine. John Wick 2014. Kind of coming out of nowhere, man, on multiple levels coming out of nowhere. First, I feel like it was one of those smart movies that the trailer dropped and the movie was out like a month later. You know what I mean? That there wasn't a long build. And on top of that, I never gave up on Keanu Reeves, but there's been a while where it's like, oh, okay, Keanu, we'll see. You know what I mean? He's not necessarily at the time an actor that I'm like, yeah, no matter what I'm in, because I'm not. That Ronin movie, or he had a few ones where I just didn't take me. But the directions here, the stories here, you feel for the dude with the dog and the dead wife, and I love just him blowing down all these henchmen here, and I love Kevin Nash's cameo too. Just on a side note, I love this flick. Great trilogy too so far. Can't wait for number 4. But before we get to John Wick 4, we got Jacob's 5.
Number 5. Going back to 1999. Going with Fight Club, Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. It's a really intriguing story. Brad Pitt and Edward Norton work really well together. Even I was very late to this one, and so I kind of knew the twist, but that doesn't really take out any enjoyment of the film. It's still really solid performances all around. Shout out to Meatloaf as Bob. I think he's great. Helena Bonham Carter is really good in this. I'm still very curious as to what their soap smells like, and does it work? And I'm just gonna stop now because we've already broken the first rule, and I don't want to break the second rule as well.
Yeah, don't do it. No, Fight Club's great. Fight Club was on my list for a while, and then with Princess Bride and other things, just it slowly fell off. But I do have a lot of love for that as well. Going to another nitty gritty R-rated movie, Tarantino's Pulp Fiction from 1994. When Pulp Fiction is my number 5, it's showing you there's a lot of bangers on this list here. Because now it's getting even harder. As I said, that top 10 was hard, 10 to 6. This top 5 was really hard because again, I think this is maybe still Tarantino's best. It's hard to say. I think he's made some great, and he's never made a bad movie in my opinion. This is one of the best here. It's Pulp Fiction. There's so many great characters popping up in here. Revitalized Travolta, Bruce Willis is fantastic. Uma Thurman. I just recently rewatched Kill Bill, which also almost made my list. That's so good as well. Thurman's so damn good. I kind of after rewatching Kill Bill, I was like, I want to see some more Uma Thurman on my screen. But yeah, Pulp Fiction coming in at number 5.
Didn't make my list.
Ooh.
It wasn't an honor. It was this close to being an honorable mention. I was very late to it, and so I don't know. I'm like, maybe I just don't have the love for it that everyone else has. I haven't watched it. I think I've watched it twice. So, but yeah, it was like I said, I made a list of 30, and it was at 17. But it was all 30 movies that I absolutely love. So, no slide on the movie. I recognize that it's one of the best, well-made movies ever, but it's not one I go back to a lot. One that I do go back to quite a bit is my number 4, which came out in 2014, another 2014 release. And this one is Whiplash, starring Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons as Fletcher, I believe was his name. I don't remember Miles Teller's name, but J.K. Simmons is absolutely the standout here. He's just this. I don't know if I would consider him a villain, but he's definitely just not a good guy. Yeah, just kind of the lengths people will go to once again achieve their dreams. I kind of talked about that in Rudy, but that one was much more uplifting, whereas this one is okay. I don't know if I would have done that way, but cool, you do you. That scene where he's talking to his girlfriend and oh, come on, you're kind of coming off as a douche. Let's be real. You deserve to be single after that. But yeah, no, J.K. Simmons absolutely deserving of a Best Supporting Actor. Absolutely. Yeah, and this might be my favorite movie of 2014 as well. It's just so good. 2014 was a really good year.
Well, literally, not to sound like Rob Lowe from Parks and Rec, but literally no arguments here because number 4, Whiplash from the year 2014. We have it at the exact same spot here. Yeah, this was one man I just loved from the get-go here. Just that determination of wanting to be great. Miles Teller, I think he had such a great kind of early track record, Spectacular Now, this, even War Dogs, which I don't love, I think he's good in it. And this is just a great performance by him. And of course, you said it, man. I think J.K. Simmons, in a weird way, I did this just it helped to put him even more on the map because I think he was a great character actor. That thank you for smoking and Juno and everything. I think this really showed that like, oh, this dude is next level, and he's so fantastic in this. And also, I've always praised too the ending to this movie is riveting. It is great. The turn that they make, you are just sunken in. It's a nice. It takes its time. Damien Chazelle, you also went on to do La La Land. It takes its time. It builds. It's so good. Love this movie to death. I remember. I don't know if it was. I think it was 2021. I'm not superstitious, but I remember saying like I wanted to start off the year with a good movie, and I chose Whiplash. I was like, I don't want my first movie of the year to be a shitty movie, so I was like, let's watch a good movie to start the year off. And that was Whiplash, because I love it.
Nice. Yeah. Well, let's see if we continue to match up. My number 3 from 2010. Best movie of 2010, in my opinion, should have won the Best Picture Oscar. That is The Social Network, which, according to Tournament Fights, is my favorite movie of all time. But it's my third favorite of the month of October. Jesse Eisenberg, Andrew Garfield, Justin Timberlake, like The Story of Facebook. Not a movie that I thought I wanted. But after seeing it, like, oh my goodness, the script is fantastic. The editing, like just the way it's shot, is wonderful. He Who Must Not Be Named gives a good performance as the Winklevoss twins. Even Rashida Jones in like her limited screen time, like she's solid. I think Andrew Garfield. Once again, we talked about being robbed of a nomination. I think Andrew Garfield should have been nominated. I understand 2010 was a stacked year as well. So it's like kind of hard to say who I would take out for Andrew Garfield, but I still think like that's a top 3 performance of Andrew Garfield for me, along with Hacksaw Ridge and Tick Tick Boom. So yeah, I have The Social Network at number 3.
It's a great film. That's why it is also my number 3. Oh no, that's just Joker. Sorry. Joker is my number 3 from the year 2019. Yeah, man, it's weird because this one had me very like wondering about going in. Todd Phillips did the Hangover movies, which are, starts off great and then kind of retreads. And we already had a great Joker in Heath Ledger, and we had Jared Leto. And you do kind of wonder, like, okay, what are they gonna do kind of differently here? But this thing's all about the Joker. It's a different take of him too. Joaquin Phoenix. So that's why I had faith in him, because I figured Joaquin's not going to do something that's just kind of by the numbers or kind of shitty. I had faith that he'd choose a good script, and he did here, man. It's mesmerizing. It's something I'm not a big repeater watcher right away, like my brother is. My brother's watching Black Adam Thursday. He'll probably see it 3 times before I see it once. Like, he's that guy. I'm not. But Joker was one where like I had another friend say, hey, do you want to see it? And I went, yeah, I do. Like, I want to experience that movie again, and it's due to his performance here. Yeah, I love it. Again, once again, very trepidatious about what they're gonna do with that sequel. But as far as this movie goes, I love it. Joker number 3.
Yeah, I was considering this one, but I haven't seen it since I saw it in the theater. I don't know, like, and it's nothing. It's not that I didn't like the movie. I loved the movie. Like, I just don't know. Like, it was a very dark movie. I'm like, I don't know if I want to rewatch this. Like, but I'm sure I will at some point.
Maybe I'm dark. I was like, yes, put me back to that headspace.
So, speaking of dark, my number 2 is The Princess Bride. Only because they want to kill somebody. That's their dark moments.
Right, I guess.
If you want the best action, romance, comedy, drama, all of the above in one movie, The Princess Bride is the movie for you. If you want a movie featuring a wrestler, The Princess Bride is the movie for you. If you want, if you want great dialogue and back and forth, this is the movie. Like, that scene between Wallace Shawn and Carrie Ellis is just great. Or they're doing the wine. Like, I love that scene. If you want a movie with a great villain, Princess Bride. A great hero, Princess Bride. The best Billy Crystal cameo, Princess Bride. This movie has everything. And it was very close to being my number 1. Like, this is actually in like my top 20 of all time as well. Like, I love this movie. But so is my number 1, so, which I'll get to after you do your number 2.
Well, the only reason we didn't agree on Social Network is because I have it slightly higher. It's my number two of the year 2010. I really like the point you made of like, I mean, I gotta agree. Like, do we need a Facebook movie here? But I think between that and like the Lego movie, I'm open to anything to a degree. You know what I mean? Like, am I excited for Twisters? No. But if you give me a good script and a good cast, like I will be, you know what I mean? I think this is a between this and Lego movie, which is obviously a completely different kind of movie. It just goes to show here, man. You put in a good cast, a good script, a good director. This movie has all of those. Fincher is one of my favorite directors, and that guy that rarely, if ever, lets me down. Eisenberg is perfectly casted here. You mentioned Garfield, mentioned He Will Not Be Named. Even Timberlake is bringing an A game here. And it's a tough character, like you said. But it actually reminds me of the Whiplash character. He's also kind of douchey, but you're in for the tale that's being told here, and it's a very true tale because it is a true tale. So yeah, great movie. I know it's a big winner over on tournament fights. That's why it's your favorite movie. So and there's a reason for that. So yeah, my number two.
Yeah, even Brenda Song from Disney Channel was really good. London Tipton herself. But my number one, I don't think it's a surprise. Tis the season. It's Halloween. My favorite movie of October. It's my favorite horror movie. It's in my top 15 of all time. It just gets better every time I watch it because I just think it's so.
Which Halloween? The first one or the 2018?
I do have to specify it's Halloween 78.
Oh, yeah.
The original. It could have been one of three movies.
Oh Jesus! I think we all assumed it wasn't the middle child.
Definitely was not the middle child. Although I will defend that as being a okay movie. But no, this one it's just such a simple story.
That it is possible.
You can watch it and not hate it. But no, it's just a simple story. Like it starts off with that first person view of Michael Myers killing the sister, and we don't know why. And I think that's like one of the more terrifying things is like we don't know why he is the way he is, which is one of the aspects I did appreciate of the remake is that it just wasn't a by the numbers remake, but he was like, all right, let's dive into why Michael Myers is the way he is, which some people don't like, but it's like, well, if you're gonna remake, you got to do something different. The only part I didn't like about his like backstory was his douchebag stepfather. Like that guy, no, I was glad to see him go. But no, this one I think it's simple. Michael Myers, The Shape of Evil, introducing Laurie Strode. Jamie Lee Curtis was perfect as Laurie Strode. The kills were simple; it didn't have to be super gory, but it was effective. Loomis was Donald Pleasance was great. I think that was another perfect casting choice. I think he got a little more eccentric as the movies went on, but I think he was perfect in this one. And man, I love Halloween. I've already rewatched it this Halloween season, and yeah, it's a top 15 for me as far as just movies. I love it, and I'm not a horror guy, so.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. It's not on my list, and I'm kind of a horror guy, but no, I do love it too. It's a great pick here, man. No argument against it. Number one for me is A Star Is Born. I just love this movie to pieces. Again, another thing with Whiplash, trying to be great, falling in love. Great direction from Bradley Cooper. He's actually, I think, still shooting his next directorial movie now, which I'm down for. Whatever it is, I'm down for. Lady Gaga is so good. Dice Clay was actually back. He just performed not long ago where I actually used to live, so I'm sad I missed out on Andrew Dice Clay. I would have tried to bring my Blu-ray and get him to sign it. Even though he's not on the cover or anything, I was like, sign this. You're good in it.
Sign my movie.
And I've done that before. And but yeah, I thought this movie was beautiful. I think it's the best version of this particular tale that's ever happened, from shot wise, acting wise. I don't think you can beat it. It's my number one, man. Let's hear that beautiful October list once more, Jacob.
Yes, from 10 to 1, I have West Side Story. Then I have Rudy at number 9. Number 8, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Number 7, your boy Ben Affleck in Argo. Number 6, The Departed. Number 5, you can read it. I'm not going to talk about it. Number 4, Whiplash. Number 3, The Social Network. Number 2, The Princess Bride. And number 1, Halloween 78.
Very nice here for myself. I decided to talk about number 10, The School of Rock. Number 9, The Princess Bride. Number 8, The Departed. Number 7 was The Prestige. Number 6 was John Wick. Number 5, Pulp Fiction. Number 4, Whiplash as well. Number 3, Joker. Number 2, The Social Network. And number 1, A Star is Born. A good month, man. I mean, the fact that we only had one direct crossover and then like what, one more like just on the same list, or two more, like not much, and these are all great movies.
We had 1, 2, 3. We had 4 on our actual list and one crossover in the honorable mentions.
Oh, there you go. Well, so shows you that there's some bangers out there as well, and other things. There's other ones too. If you ever yourself look at some of the October releasing, some other great things on there as well. Reservoir Dogs, Cool Running, Skyfall. I almost wanted to talk about so much good things here.
Yeah.
Jacob, plugs, parting words. What will you be doing in an hour? Yada yada.
In an hour you can catch me hosting the finals of the Wrestling with Trivia, King of Wrestling with Trivia tournament between one JPO, this guy over here, and Michael Turner. It's going to be a fun time, so check us out on Pierce Wrestling, and then you can catch me over at the Movie Hero Network where I host the Trivia Triathlon. 3 grueling rounds of various trivia. I'm trying to formulate different rounds, so it's not always the same 3 rounds.
Let me know when I can be back on. I am the current champion.
You just won the first one. That doesn't mean you're the champion.
So I'm the champion. I won the first match. I'm the inaugural champion.
I mean, there were 2 other matches where people scored more points than you. So
but those were non-title matches. I weren't there. I wasn't there. So good for them.
You don't make the rules, sir.
In my mind. Steve Mason, I'm the champion.
Well, you know what? Then I take back my relinquishing of the Picks and Lists championship, and I'm still the champion.
You don't make those rules.
Oh, I thought we were just making up rules that everyone had to follow now.
No, my rules I like. Your rules are mean.
You're already at -12.
Damn it.
You have a hole.
All right. Well, I'll get those Brawl for All questions. Don't worry.
Go for it.
I'm sorry. Did you have any more plugs or?
No, that was it. Yeah, no. Yeah, I can't think of anything else I'm doing in the near future other than that. So.
Well, for this lovely human being, follow him over the Trivia Triathlon, where I'm the current reigning defending champion. Follow him in all his other future endeavors here in the world wide of web, including the Pierce Wrestling Channel in an hour. So we love you. Thanks for watching. Good night. Good luck.